everyone, and welcome. Today I've got the 1/10 scale Jeep Cherokee crawler back on the bench. This is a vehicle that's been showcased on the channel many times before. It uses a custom fully 3D printed frame, and the body also includes some nice 3D printed accessories. The reason I'm working on it now is I want to design, print, and install some new rear forelink bars. As you can see, the upper rear bars are broken and need to be replaced. The links I have currently use resin ball joints on the end connecting to steel rods. These worked well, but the resin parts are quite brittle, so they are more prone to breaking because they don't bend. These links had been holding up well, but I crashed the truck at USTE earlier this year, which broke the upper rear links. With the weather finally getting nice around where I'm at, it gave me some motivation to get the new links installed. The first step was to remove the remaining parts of the broken links still attached to the truck. With the upper links removed, I began working on designing some new links that will hopefully be much stronger. Unlike the old design, all the parts will be FDM printed, including the ball joint that I'm designing right now. Although the lack of a metal rod will make these less rigid, hopefully they will not have the same weak point around the ball joints. These will also be a little easier to make since all that will be necessary is to print each part rather than needing to secure each end to a steel rod. I wanted to make sure I had as much material around the ball joint as possible to give it strength. I thought it would be cool to add some ribs along the outside, which is what I'm making here. Originally, I was going to print the links in 3 separate parts. The 2 outer ends and the center section would be separate parts, but connected to each other using long set screws. Although I might try that at some point, right now I decided to print each link in 2 parts that will be glued together. Using PLA plastic, each part turned out looking great. They feel about as rigid as the plastic links you'd find on some ready-to-run crawlers. I quickly sanded each mating surface of the links for better adhesion. I placed each ball into position before gluing the other half. This eliminates the need to press fit them into place. Although the ball joints move smoothly as is, I decided to apply some grease, which helped them to move even easier. I then installed each of them onto the truck. The only difference between installing the links and removing them was that I needed to disconnect the rear drive shaft from the transmission to allow enough room to get the nut on. The new upper links fit great, though they were a little shorter than the old ones, which puts the rear axle at a bad angle. To fix this, I removed the lower links and printed out a shorter set that will put the axle at the correct angle. This also shortened the wheelbase slightly, which was a bonus since before I thought the wheelbase looked a little too long. I once again glued each half and installed the new links onto the truck. I made sure to verify that each fit and that the rear suspension could move smoothly. The angle of the rear axle looks much better now, and I also like the look of the new thicker links. All that was left to do now was reinstall the drive shaft end and the wheels. Of course, the best way to try out some new parts is to get out onto the trails and do some driving, which is exactly what I did. The rear links held up just fine. Granted, I didn't do anything too extreme. It was actually the old front links that failed, just like the rear links had before, after letting my brother drive it like a rock racer. So although I didn't have any plans to replace the front links before, I now had a reason to. The process for replacing the front links is identical to replacing the rear. I measured each so I could make the new links the same as the old ones, so I don't end up changing the wheelbase. The truck now has all new forelinks. They certainly seem solid, and I think they should hold up well. Along with the 3D printed frame and forelinks, I've also been working on making 3D printable axles and a transmission, all of which I plan on using for the Scale 3DRC PN89 SUV build, so it'll be interesting to see how everything on that holds up. The STL files for these links will be added onto Patreon, along with the STL files for the inner fenders I'm using on this body. So if you're interested in doing a similar build, be sure to check those out. I'll put the links below in the description. Before concluding this video, I want to showcase some of the awesome projects and vehicles that have been posted in the Make It RC Facebook group. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.